Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So, as you can tell, we are in the truck. I am driving, and what I'm actually doing is going to pick up a new car. Now, it's not a new car for me to own, but it is a new car to review. It is one of those cars on my list that I am definitely interested in, and I want to get some seat time, experience it, and see what it's all about. You guys obviously know what it is by the title and the thumbnail. It is a 2018 BMW F87 M3. And the cool thing about this one is that it is a manual transmission. So I'm gonna get some proper seat time in a true, proper manual M car. And for me, the M2 is just one of those cars that honestly I feel like it's one of, if not the best current and modern M car that is out there. They're fantastic cars, and I'm really looking forward to getting some proper experience and seat time in this. Now, I actually have driven this car before, just for a very short stint, just a 5-10 minute drive around the block with my buddy. I have some inclination about it, of the feelings and everything, but that was a while ago, and I didn't get to experience it for a longer period of time. So that is what I'm doing in this video. I'm going to be driving, doing the daily thing in a BMW F87 M2. Really looking forward to it. It's just one of those cars that I have always caught my interest. Now, I will be doing a full conclusion of this car like I've done with all the other cars that I have reviewed. This is just kind of going to pick it up, giving my initial impressions and stuff, just kind of taking you guys along with me. Because, it is fun, I guess, picking up a new car and just kind of sharing those jitters and the excitement and everything of getting to drive such a cool car. So this is my friend's, actually, as I mentioned, and I'm actually loaning him the truck while I have his M2. And I encourage him to go do some truck things, off-roading, hiking, whatever, use the bed, fill it up with whatever you want. Anytime I do lend my truck out, I always encourage people to actually use it, what it's made for, because that's what I use it for. And that's one of the best things about owning a truck. So I did want to mention this because I know a lot of you are curious as to why I'm test driving so many cars, why am I doing reviews and everything. I never personally set out to do car reviews. I'm not a good journalist, if you want to call it that. I'm not that type of person. The way that I do reviews or car reviews is kind of just share my thoughts as I'm driving it as a normal, average car enthusiast. I'm not going to sit there and rattle off 1,000 different facts or details about the car. That's just not my thing. Now, if you guys are interested in all the details and everything, it's so easy to look them up and figure them out. I'll give you the basics and all that, but that is just not my style. So I'm kind of getting my feet wet into the car reviewing world. Not necessarily something that I planned on doing, but these cars that I have reviewed and I'm about to review kind of fell into my lap. It wasn't anything that I went out and searched for. They're just good friends of mine that are very, very nice and gracious enough to lend me their cars. And in fact, the G80 M3 and the Porsche Carrera T, my buddies who own those, were literally telling me to take them. I didn't even ask to borrow them. They were just like, take these cars. I want you to drive it, experience it, do whatever you want. And this is the same thing with the M2. I reached out to my buddy. I was like, hey, would you be interested in swapping cars for a week, whatever? And he was like 100% for it. So really, really awesome. Really thankful for having such cool friends to literally lend out their, very expensive, nice cars to me for the week. And also a big reason as to why I'm doing this is because I cannot stand going to a car dealership, driving a car that you're potentially going to buy for 5 or 10 minutes with the salesman in the car. You're a little nervous, can't drive the car properly. Salesman or saleswoman is talking to you, rattling off all these numbers and facts and what have you. And all I want to do is just listen to the car, drive it the way it's supposed to drive, and get my own opinion. There is no way that somebody can make such a large decision in a 5 to 10 minute drive. It blows my mind that people make such giant financial decisions based on that simple, quick test drive. So what I am trying to do is find and drive as many cars that seriously interest me, that either can be a part of the stable or be a replacement for the STI. Which direction that's gonna go, I have no idea, but what I'm doing is just trying to get as much seat time in these cars that seriously strike my interest, and just enjoy them. Live with them for an actual week. Try them out and do the daily thing. See if it's something that you can live with. See if it's something that you actually are interested in. Because honestly, there have been cars that I have driven that I had my mind set on, and after I drove it, I was like, this car is not for me. So I wanted to kind of mention that and go over as to why all these cars are being driven and reviewed on the channel. Plus, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy cars in general, so it's really cool to get different experiences. So that is what I'm gonna do. What car may be next, I am not sure. I'm not planning anything. There's a lot of other cars that interest me as well, so we'll see where it takes me. But in the meantime, let's head over to my buddy's house. Let's go get this M2 and let's see what it's all about. All right, guys, so we picked up the M2. We are on our way home, actually. Just kind of get my initial impressions of it. Again, I've actually driven this car before, so it's not too new to me, but I'll show you in a little bit once we get out of the car and everything. But it feels so good just being back in an M car. It makes me so happy. I feel like that's where I need to be in life. Even though I love my STI, M cars are kind of my calling. But yeah, I'm driving in Sport Plus mode, which is the best mode to drive in. And we got the manual transmission, so it's fantastic. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do is enjoy this drive home. It's a beautiful fall day, really, really nice out. So I'm gonna enjoy this M2, and then I'll catch back up with you guys in a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of a walk around, kind of going over the car and everything, and we can have a little chat about the car. So let me go enjoy the car, and I'll catch back up with you guys in a little while. Here is the car. It is an Alpine white, beautiful color, one of my favorite colors on the F chassis. I think it looks great in the M2. It looks fantastic. The car is extremely dirty. We will be doing a wash on this car to clean it up. These wheels are actually the typical, I don't want to say chrome, but they're like the silver and black. But they look black right now since it is so dirty. But we're going to clean it up, make the car look good again. I actually detailed this about 3 years ago. I did a ceramic coating on it and everything. It's held up pretty well, but I'm looking forward to cleaning it up and getting it looking up to my standards, because right now it's pretty darn dirty. But hey, this car gets driven, it gets used, it's his daily driver, so it's something that, you know, is going to see abuse. It's going to see the normal daily driver things, rock chips and all that, which is something that I do love and I do enjoy, just because these cars are meant to be driven. Real quick, again, let's just go over the specs so we're all in the clear of what this car is. This is a 2018 F87 M2. This has the N55 engine, which is a 3-liter, 6-cylinder turbo car, or turbo motor, the N55. In 2019, they went over to the competition, which had the S55 from the F80 M3 chassis. So quite a bit more power. This actually has 360 horsepower, I believe. Then when it went over to the S55, the F80 motor in the competition package for this car in 2019, it went up to 405 or something like that. So me personally, I am interested in an M2. More specifically, I'm more interested in the competition package that had the M3 motor in it, the 400 plus horsepower, but I really wanted to try the M2 with the N55. I really wanted to see what it was all about, if it's more fun. A lot of people were saying that this motor, the N55, was better in the M2. It just suits the car better. So I was really curious. I wanted to try it out, see what I think. And I have it for the entire week. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm going to be doing my normal daily driven things. Just like I do in my truck, I'm just going to be using it as a daily driver. Going to be taking my kids to school, grocery shopping, going to the gym, work, all that stuff. So it's definitely going to see the normal daily driven activities. And I'm really, really looking forward to trying this thing out. Some initial impressions: it is definitely a car that I am interested in, and it's a lot of fun. One thing I really like about this chassis is the size. The size of this car, I think, is perfect. It reminds me a lot of my E46 M3. I feel like M cars these days, even with the F80 in this current generation year of BMW, I still think it's a little too big for an M car, although it doesn't feel like a big car when you're actually driving it. But personally, the wheelbase and just the overall size of this is perfect. I absolutely love how small this car feels. I love the feeling of being in a really small M car. It's just kind of what it's all about. It's about that M motorsport. To me, it's all about the driving feel and being in a very nimble small car. It just honestly feels right. As I mentioned, the best thing about this car is that it has the 6-speed manual transmission. This comes in DCT as well, and I do think these cars were designed around that transmission. but a manual transmission in a proper M car, no doubt about it, is way more fun. I do love the DCT and all the automatic transmissions that they have put in these cars, but there is nothing like a true manual in a true M car. And this is a perfect example of what I think is a perfect recipe for a perfect M car. Ultimately, I would still like to get my hands on a competition package as well to try that out to see how much different it is than this. But I'm really curious to see what I think after driving the G80 M3, the Porsche Carrera T, obviously driving my STI. I want to see how much different this car is overall to drive. In 2018, they actually did an LCI, which pretty much stands for like a refresh. That's BMW's term for a refresh. If I were to get an M2 with the N55, I would definitely shoot for an LCI, which is a 2018. I just think it looks better. It has some nice carbon accents down below here, as you can see. It's got the really dirty but nice F80 M3 wheels on here, which are 19s. A little big for this car. I think 18s would fit nicer. But overall it still looks good. It's got the nice carbon lip back here. We also have nice carbon fiber mirror caps, so it's all M Performance, it's all OEM stuff, so it's not like it's aftermarket or anything like that. But this car honestly looks menacing coming down the road, and these things lowered with a proper exhaust on here with a nice lip look awesome. And honestly, my mind is going crazy right now thinking of what I would do to this to make it up to my standards and kind of where I would want it to be. And I've seen just how cool these cars can be when they're modified and tuned and everything. These things are absolute animals. That was just a small introduction into this car. Again, I'm going to be driving it for the entire week. I'm going to be doing a full review on it, giving all my thoughts, let you guys know if it's something worthwhile for me or even for you guys if you're interested in this car. So far, I've spent the day in it and I've absolutely enjoyed my time immensely. It is a lot of fun. It's one of those cars that you really don't need to ring out to feel the power. You have a lot of fun just driving around town. It's very, very usable power. In the E90 generation M3s with the S65 motor in there, even with my E46 M3, the S54 motor, you had to wind those cars out so much to really, really have them shine. They kind of shined in the 6,000 plus RPM range. Those things revved all the way to 8K. So this is a car that you can just use every single day around town, and I really, really love that. And I found myself enjoying just kind of zipping around, going through the gears, and I didn't have to wind it out like crazy. So just a quick introduction. I want to let you guys know what I'm going to be driving for the week. A little insight into it as to why I decided to pick one of these up, or at least test one. And I'm going to be giving you my full review, as I mentioned, let you know if it's worth it or not. And at the end of the week, I hope to give you some insight as to if it's something that I am seriously interested in pursuing or chasing or purchasing down the road. Whether it's replacing the STI or purchasing it alongside the STI, we will see. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.